शुरू करें? जब अब शोर नहीं है, मोबाइल वगैरह अपने सब साइलेंट कर लीजिए। मोबाइल सब साइलेंट कर लीजिए प्लीज। स्टार्ट रोलिंग। There is enough of talk going about passions. One should be passionate about one's own work. One should be very passionate about one's idea. I'm precisely talking in the light of the startups. The mandate of our country at the moment is to have millions of new startups, all budding entrepreneurs that hold themselves for one or the other count must not take a step forward. And the primary guidance that each entrepreneur in India gets through any corner is to be passionate. And what happens as a result of being passionate? Young talent wants to embark upon one or the other kind of an idea. They become passionate to achieve something. We have to achieve, we have to accomplish something. That is the primary idea behind their mind. But there is a missing component. For any startup, you must understand to be passionate about it is like talking about the driving fuel, good quality of fuel that beholds highest degree of combustion. But at the same time, you also have to behold a connectivity with that something that you should be passionate about. I have to achieve. I'm passionate to achieve. What? Unless the clarity is observed through the process of incineration, incinerators are deployed at those places where a high degree temperature is required to burn out various impurities into ashes. That process is called as incineration, and the equipment is called as incinerator. I'm talking something which is distinct from being passionate about achieving something. I'm more precise upon that something that you should be passionate about. What is that something? Is it a borrowed idea? Something probably you have gathered from someone on account that that particular idea holds a great market. Lots of money into that. It's a gold mine. You should be on to that. Such ideas are the borrowed ideas. And something that arises from within the deeper self of your own core will be something probably which will be beyond passionate, beyond being passionate about. My words will carry more sense to you now. People have accomplished through idiotically appearing ideas that were initially apparent as idiotism at the first impression. But they were probably working on something which was deep into their own core. And the endorsement came deep from their own within. And they embarked upon them, succeeded. And the world today is witnessing. The same would have probably been told to someone who, at one point of time, decided that I want to give a platform to the world wherein each individual is able to publish one's own newspaper on daily basis. Not only on daily basis, but any moment one can publish one's own news. Zuckerberg made an initiation in the form of Facebook. Something which he felt was required. He may not be passionate about it, but he felt that it was required. Being passionate is driven by something. And at times, the drivers are vulnerable to several kind of contamination. If you're merely passionate about something, you're equally vulnerable to distraction, irrational conclusions. But if you're beyond passion, then there is no scope of any contamination, confrontation. You try to live this soul, this spirit of an experience. The experience of Zuckerberg was to provide a place to each individual to publish one's own newspaper on daily basis, now probably momentary basis. And when it became his existence, then there was no looking back. There were moments of desperation, but he could easily surpass those moments by traveling down once again within his own self to trace the roots of that particular experience, which you generally call as an idea. I call it experience. Ideas can be borrowed. Experiences are not borrowed. They belong to you, your own inside domain. He felt the moment he traversed within himself at some ashram in India that Facebook was not a passion to him, he was living an experience that he felt each one of us should be extended with. The story of Chumbak. I'm yet to come to a conclusion where the rationale behind Chumbak gets embedded into my understanding. But it's a great success. Someone thought that Chumbak needs to be made an experience that everybody can share. Today it's a brand. We easily acknowledge, affirm brands. But let us not forget, before becoming a brand, it was an idea. And before an idea, it was an experience that someone probably underwent by feeling a need inside for that product or a service. People who are able to experience a need of anything, they are able to ignite a desperation within their own self, a particular kind of an experience of desperation, of missing that product or service. And when you start missing in your own life any product or service, you start acquiring more and more of information about that particular product or service that is missing. That lacking automatically manifests a lot of informational inputs into your own inside. And when you convert that particular experience of missing something into the form of a product or a service, then it becomes an idea, not a borrowed one, but something which has arisen from the depths of your own existence. Then you're not required to be passionate about it. Passions can become obsolete. Passions have an age. But an experience does not have an age, something that arises from your innermost core. You don't scale an experience. Whenever I say experience, understand it in your own language as an idea. The experience is something that you would like to live beyond the calibration of success, failure. Because it's beyond, it's more than that. Rest all are mundane aspects to manage the show, be it capital, be it processes, be it distribution network, recruitment, whatever. So many things. It's all bandobast. But the primary soul of the entire enterprise is that experience that you want to convert into an idea and share it with the world. I'm diverting you from being passionate about something towards experiencing something that you miss in your own life. Someone has rightly remarked, don't do anything that you like. I'm talking in the light of a startup, be precise. Don't do anything that you like or something that you like. Do something that you love. And one always holds deep love. Love means intense affinity, unconditional affinity towards one's own need. One beholds deep love towards one's own needs. Understand your need. Ask yourself the right question. Tactfully seek and explore your own inside before asking anyone else. People may have different understandings. You may create one experience in yourself, I mean, an idea of doing something. People around you may not endorse that. They may not be having that lacking, that missing towards that product or a service. That does not mean it's not going to work. If you're staying in a group housing society with 500 apartments and none of them is flying today, does not mean that there is no one at the airport. Yet, crowds throng to the airports. Understand it. If you really want to give this world a meaningful enterprise, so stop talking about being passionate about it and start thinking about discovering, exploring something that you can experience within yourself in the form of a product or a service that you find missing. If you're able to serve that missing component of a product or service, then you're right at the threshold to deliver a successful startup enterprise to this world. Once you listen to this recording twice or thrice, maybe it'll make more sense to you. Because when I started this recording, I know you found that I was missing the arrangement of the facts. But when I'm concluding, now the arrangement is formed. Listen to the same recording once again. If you are on the verge to finalize any startup, maybe this time you may alter the entire plan. And to feel an experience inside, to discover an experience inside, you have to travel through a passage, an interlude of blankness. If you don't know how to think rightly, you will land on a wrong platform. So start thinking in the right manner. Explore yourself. Explore something that you need is missing. And believe me, answer may not surface immediately. It will take time. You will have to go through the passage of blankness. I'm repeating again. You will have to go through maybe a prolonged passage of blankness. In that hurry to discover an experience in your inner exploration, don't compromise with any borrowed ideas. If you're a startup, there should be a distinguishing line that must be drawn between a startup and a venture capitalist. A venture capitalist has to embark upon ideas that are made available to him or them, but not with a startup. At startup level, you have to work upon your own idea. More than being passionate, be more thoughtful. Experience that prolonged passage of blankness until you discover that experience, that seeking, that yearning, that need that you feel in your life in the form of a product or a service. Pursue that. And I'm sure you don't need to be passionate about it. And you should deliver something very meaningful to this world. That's it.